Sumary of Daf Lamed Zayin 37 of Torah. So this is a Maimah Rani V'Simchi, the second Rani V'Simchi. So the pasuk says in Haftarah of Chanukah from Zechariah, Rani V'Simchi bas Tziyun, that we should sing. Rani can either mean to sing or to praise, and Simchi and rejoice, daughter of Tziyun. And then the pasuk continues, because Hashem says, because I am coming, and I will dwell among you. No, Hashem says Hashem, and then the next pasuk begins, Hashem, that many nations will join Hashem on that day. So, what is this idea of Rani? What's this idea of Rani V'Simchi, the singing, and also how does this connect to Chanukah? So let's look at other psukim with Rani. So we've got the pasuk from Tehillim that we say in Mizmor Seder after Bar Shamar. It says, Ivdu Hashem simcha, bayu lifanav yearnings. Again, we've got ranenah. So we've got two paths. Serve Hashem with joy, but first we have to come towards Hashem with ranenah, with song. What is this song? The song is a song of yearning from being afar. And when we're in front of the king, we don't have any praise or song because we're right in front of the king. Only when we step away, we go outside, then we start praising. So what we are doing with Rani is singing a song of yearning for Hashem, and that's in general how it is in this world where we're coming from afar. And with Malchus is the middle which allows for concealment and allows for the concept of an other. And although this is a disadvantage, Hashem's presence is concealed, but on the other hand, it helps to bring up a greater yearning for Hashem. And that's the difference between, like we've said, between Shema, where Hashem is revealed, and Baruch Shem, where Hashem is concealed, but we say still everything's Hashem. And then from that we come to Ava, yearning for Hashem, but this is all from below to above. And then we have Ivdu Hashem ושמחי. After we do our best, then we can bring down Hashem from above to below. This is something only neshamas can do. All Malachim can do is yearn for Hashem. Whereas neshamas, our souls, have the power to do something to bring Hashem down into this world, which is Torah mitzvahs. And in general, we have three parts. We have chesed, which is mitzvahs, especially tzedakah. We have gevura, which is davening, yearning, and going up, and then we have Torah, which is the middle part, which the middle also has in the body has the internal organs, unlike the right and left, which is just arms and legs. Now, during Galus, we are called Basti, and we're just a daughter of Tziyun. We're in a state of time and place, and the mitzvahs that we do are just the physical part, and they are Tziyun. They reflect, Tziyun means a sign, and they reflect the higher mitzvahs, which is the spiritual source of mitzvahs. And that's the idea of a bracha, to bring down. What baruch means to bless, it also means to bring down the flow of Hashem's energy from the spiritual states of being to the physical. And that's also why Yosef was called Avrech. Avrech also is this idea of bending over, bringing down Hashem's light that should be manifest for everyone, and there shouldn't be concealment anymore. And so that's when the Jewish people put their own effort in order to then arouse a corresponding effort from above, then we're called Tziyun. But when we are weak in our own efforts, it's a time of galus, and then we're not really starting off the process. It's really coming from Hashem. So then the result will be weak. But what we've got to do is try to develop a yearning ourselves, and this is what Psukei de Zimra is about, exciting us before we get to Shema and Shema Esrei, and to yearn for Hashem. And the same thing with Yotze, or the first bracha before Shema, which talks about the Malachim's excitement. But if we don't do this, it's a time of Golos and it's all dark, we might feel disheartened. So we should know that even if we're Tzien, we can still sing. Rani V'Simchi, we can still sing. And how does that work? Because when Mashiach comes, even without our efforts, just our simple obedience, that will also be ish for ish yolad. It won't be Tzien, it won't be just the daughter, it will be ish for ish, that man and man is born, that will be with strength, even if we didn't bring much to the table, bring much to the party. Now, if we can't reach this state of yearning through Psuki de Zimra, there is another option, which is the Chanukah light. And that's why Rani V'Simchi is connected to Chanukah. When we light the menorah, we're lighting up our neshama. And we're not doing it just inside, but we're also lighting up outside, which is the place of the clippers, that the clipper should have a yearning for Hashem and be transformed into from darkness to light. And that's why the second pasuk in Haftarah says, "V'nilva going around El Hashem," that many nations will join Hashem on that day, and that's about transformation of Klippon. Well, this will be happen most and be most effective with Mashiach. That's the end of the Maimer itself. But then there's a beer, there's explanation on the Maimer, which we did the first part of that today, and it adds a few points. But it's mostly on the same lines, that talking about how with that Tzien is within the worlds of Biyah, whereas Tzien itself is in the world of Atzilus, and quotes Kol Bali Shir Yotzim B'Shir, that all masters of song go out in song. That's how the Alter Rebbe translated this mishnal. The literal translation is anything that has a collar can go out with the collar on Shabbos. It's not considered carrying. But the Alter Rebbe explains it here, and also in the famous story when he spoke in front of a big assembly of people who had been misnagdim, opponents of Chassidus, and he explained this idea that through song, Yotzin Bashir, we go out through the song, meaning we go out of our limitations. The Malachim can't do this, but when do we go out in song? It's only when we're not right in front of Hashem. Right in front of Hashem, we'd just be totally involved in the experience, and we wouldn't be singing, we wouldn't be reporting or saying how the Hashem affects us, what we praise about Hashem. We'd just be totally in it. And on the other hand, there is an advantage of song that the songs don't yet have words, so it's a more sort of genuine outpouring of the soul, although it's not the ultimate would just be in a state of silence. But either way, the main midah is chesed, and ava is love, and that's how we cleave to Hashem. Although there are different types, there's an ava which has some gvur in it, and that's from when it's coming from a place of yearning. On the other hand, there's ava which is pure chesed, which is just when it's a state of pleasure. So at night, in a time of darkness, what we've got to do is use that for a yearning to come back close, and we're lucky that we can actually do more, and we can have simcha, the joy from bringing Hashem down into the world. Now, the 248 limbs, which the idea of a limb is somewhere where the neshama can rest, that number is because there's 9 spheres times 9. That's 81, and then each of them have the top, middle, and bottoms. That 3 times 81 is 243, and then we've got the 5 chasadim, with the chesed expands and is revelation. So altogether that's 248. And these midas, they're sourced in Torah, which is from Chachma, and even in Kesser, which is beyond Chachma, like the skull, beyond the mind. And we both ranenah have our song of yearning for Hashem, and then afterwards the simcha, the joy, when with Hashem being drawn down towards us. And this is hinted in V'haya Dvar Me'ela when we say Hashem's words should be on us. So we're not in the state of yearning and desire upward, like in Vahafta, we love it, where we talk about our love of Hashem. Instead, we're talking about bringing Hashem down in our Torah and mitzvahs.